is Tarik Talk. Your host, Tarik Mendez, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world. Broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tarik Talk.
All right, guys, today I'm here with Christine Romanell. How are you, Christine?
I'm great.
Thank you so much. We are Spring Break Art Show Day 1. Congratulations on such a fabulous booth. Can you tell us a little bit about the work you're exhibiting here?
So everything that I create is based on infinity, and the circle is the ultimate expression of infinity. Not that we'll ever experience it as humans. But I work with rotational symmetry and sacred geometry. So each of these pieces starts from a very similar drawing. Sometimes it ends up being a wood sculpture, sometimes it's ceramics, sometimes it's 3D printed. So I'm working with a lot of different materials and a lot of different techniques. And
I have to say I love the amount of color and amount of the medium that you use. It's such an attention grabbing. Can you tell us about your creative process? What is it like for you? Like, how do ideas come to you?
I read a lot of cosmology, physics. I'm a big fan of Roger Penrose.
Oh, wow.
I love his theory of the cyclical universe. There's one big bang that flows into the next, that flows into the next.
Yeah.
I think it mimics life. You know, you have cycles.
Yeah.
And things come and go and ebb and flow.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of infinite, you know. It's kind of a comfort for me.
Yeah.
My mom died last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But, you know, it's that cyclical nature of things
Yeah.
that kind of gave me
Circle
a lot of comfort.
of life. Yeah,
the
yeah.
circle of life. So that's kind of what my work is about and where the inspiration comes from. You know,
wow.
It's kind of like an infinite obsession with infinity.
Yeah. And how are you able, like, how do you keep track of your ideas? Do you write it down? Do you draw everything?
I draw everything digitally.
Okay.
And then I have like a folder on my computer, which is lots and lots and lots of digital drawings.
Yeah.
And sometimes I come up with a new one, or I go back to old ones and, refresh the ideas. Sometimes I draw something digitally, and I don't know how it's going to manifest, in the actual world. A lot of people are trying to get their art to look like the world. I'm trying to get
to create a portal almost, it seems.
Exactly. I kind of work in reverse.
Yeah.
I create something digitally and then have to kind of manifest it in the real world where people kind of make a drawing and then, you know what I mean? It's kind of, I'm working opposite. But
I love that.
Yeah.
And do you have any like studio rituals? Like when you get to the studio, are you able to sit down and get to work right away? Do you have to have a coffee, read the newspaper, meditate?
Well, it's important to have lunch with my mates.
Yes.
So I'm at Manufacturers Village in East Orange.
Okay.
So it's a studio complex. It was built in the 1880s, the original Johnson & Johnson factory.
Oh, wow.
We just recently formed a nonprofit, but there's about 65 artists.
That's amazing.
So on my floor, there's about 8 of us. So every day we sit down, we have lunch.
Oh, wow,
whoever's
that's
there,
so cool,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? So we have lunch, we talk about the art of the day or politics or whatever.
Yeah.
We have like a great lunch. It's great to have those people around to kind of bring into your studio
Yeah.
your practice so intimately. When you're veering off, they're like, hey, come
That's
back,
so cool.
or that's good, or I think it pushes your practice forward so much more to have other artists around you.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. Do you find that like helpful for your practice?
Absolutely. I tried out laser cutting steel.
Yeah.
Right. So I went over to this other artist in the other building, Tom Nussbaum, who does a lot of public art and he does a lot of steel. I was like, Tom, what do I do with this? He's like, oh, you got to grind that down. Here, here's how you do it.
Yeah.
The ceramics, for example. There's another artist on my floor, Ruth Borganite, who's like a master ceramicist, and she was like, "Oh, I'll teach you how to do it."
Oh, that's amazing.
So
it's like fame school, but for the art.
Yeah.
Literally for the artists, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for my fellow artists.
That's amazing. I have to say, I love how your personal style translates to your art and vice versa, because normally sometimes it's so diverse or like separate or different. It's really cool. It's like you're an extension of your artwork in a way. And I'm so fascinated by your work and your story. I totally forgot to ask you about your Instagram. Can you share your Instagram, please?
It's CS Romanell.
Okay, perfect. So everybody listening, please check out her work. It's amazing. And do you have anything coming up after spring break?
Yes, there is a big open studio event at Manufacturers Village. There'll be 65 artists.
Awesome. When is that?
It's October 19th and 20th.
October 19th.
The weekend from 12 to 5.
12 to 5. And do you want to share your studio number, whoever's listening?
Yes, I'm in Building 1.
Building
on the
1?
second floor.
And that's in East Orange.
East Orange,
That's in New Jersey?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. Yeah, that's
New
very
Jersey.
cool. I'll definitely try to make it if I'm in the East Coast then.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. It's been a pleasure. Please
you for
follow
the
her.
interview. It was
Of
great
course.
meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you. Look out for all the cool stuff she's being a part of, and thanks again, Christine.
Thank you for listening to Tarik Talk. Follow Tarik Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online.